So we decided we'd look at goaltenders in the league right now that are having success that are 25.
No, under 25. Under 25.
No, 25 and under.
We took the 25s out.
Well, no one told me.
Well.
So my list has 25-year-olds on it.
All right. That's right. We
That's
took
okay.
them out. I did it on my own.
Well, you should next time tell your co-host.
Well, we have people here that are supposed to do that. But I digress. Here are the goals, because we went out a longer list, and the point I made in doing it is that you have like Sorokin and Shesterkin that we know more about them, and we talk about them a lot. Here are some guys that, we've talked a lot about Carter Hart, but he fits into this group, so he's on that page, and you can see Kakkonen, Samsonov, Ottinger, Swayman. The guy that I wanted to talk about a little bit was Jake Ottinger, because I don't think we give this guy near enough credit. And, Kenny talked about the Dallas Stars, and he believes they're going to make the playoffs, and I think he may be right about that. It's going to come down to them in Nashville. But if they do, I think they owe a debt of gratitude to that young guy right there, because he has had to come in. Ben Bishop has been out of the picture this year, and you've had Anton Hudobin, who's had a little bit of some ups and downs and had some issues, COVID issues he had to sit out, and they've had to lean on Ottinger in a bunch of games. And look at the numbers there. He's got the 9 wins, 919 save percentage. Those 6 overtime losses are ties. I mean, they just don't win in those situations. For whatever reason, the Dallas Stars have lost a bunch of them. I don't blame the kid. I think he has come in and played very well for them this year in a tough spot, coming off a trip to the final where the team doesn't win, and then you have injury issues and other issues. So for me, I don't think we talk near enough about Ottinger. I think he's been really good.
Yeah, and the body of work. He's played some games here.
Yeah.
He's played a lot of games this season, and Dallas has needed him, no question about it. And sometimes we get caught up in 1 or 2 guys that are hyped up a little more going into their careers in the National Hockey League, but Ottinger has been terrific, and I don't know if they knew exactly what to expect this season and how much he would play if Bishop was not injured, but boy, has he stepped up. I like Swayman and Bossman. I know he's only played, I thought I saw 5 games or so. He has looked really good.
Yeah.
He really has.
And I think part of the good thing about this season and all these goaltenders, we've seen a lot of teams use 3, 4 goaltenders, is we've gotten, I guess, perhaps an early look at some of these players. I mean, if we were not living under the current circumstances that we are, we might not have got to see Jeremy Swayman in Boston because it just might not have been necessary. Carter Hart, obviously, is only 22 years old, so he, of course, is going to be on the list.
Yeah, and, it's interesting because, the goalie gurus, when you talk to the guys who really study the goalies, they tell me that 200 professional games is really the measuring stick to when the guys really get comfortable and you can make more of an assessment, more of a judgment. And these guys that we're talking about, they're very early in the game. They haven't had anywhere near that, and Carter Hart has had to do a lot of that 200-game mentorship at the National Hockey League level, and this season behind a very porous defense there in Philadelphia, they've had a bunch of struggles. So for Carter Hart, I think the jury is far from out. It has been a little bit of a rough ride this year, but it's a reminder that he's still a very young goaltender. And, like you talked about before with Spencer Knight, you don't want to crown somebody as like being the guy after one performance, or in the case of Carter Hart, a pretty good run. Takes time, and you have to get confidence.
All young players have to go through it, in particular goaltenders, where they're scrutinized the most.
What a moment right there for Spencer Knight. I know, huh?
Goosebumps right now,
So we've seen Jeremy Swayman, 19 years old. We've seen Carter Hart, 19 years old. He's a veteran at this point. He was 19 yesterday, right? He turned 20 just the other day. What does it say about the state of the goalie union in the NHL with these youngsters ready to rock and roll?
Well, it really speaks to the increase in development of the position. Really, it does in terms of the coaching and the training, the resources that the smart teams are allocating to the position. No longer is it good enough to hear people say, I don't know about goalies, just get in there and stop it. I don't know about a goal. You can't say that. And if you're in a position of authority in a franchise, be it a head coach or senior management, you better make sure that if you don't know, you entrust somebody that really does know. And we've seen that same progression now. A lot of these goalies are accelerated in their learning curve, really, and in how quickly they're able to get acclimatized to playing at the highest level, Kelly.
Yeah, and, it's almost like you see in the forward and defensive position, these young guys are coming in and making an impact right away. When I first started in the league, you didn't come in and, as an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old, and I played 3 minutes my first game, first call-up, so right. To see these kids do it, now they're doing it, at the hardest position, I feel like, on the ice, at the goalie, just their mental strength and their makeup is so special, and you could tell during that interview how much it meant to him, right? You see the smile on his face, the fans are going crazy.
And you know what else I like, too, now is gone are the days, and you both made these points, but gone are the days where you were drafted and you were just buried to develop. Gone are those days where you feel like there's no hope. You're not going to be there. You're not getting called up. You're not getting a chance. These guys are ready, and they're ready to rock, and it's nice to see teams recognizing that by way of the salary cap, but also by way of the fact that they know these kids are mature in their game, but also in their personal development. You saw him in that interview.
Yeah.
Like, he was really poised. Yep. And the presence of mind to say all the right things and to show that sense of self-assuredness and confidence, but yet still respect for the stage, that's a kind of a fine line to walk, and he did an outstanding job tonight.
13th overall pick by Florida back in 2019. So it hasn't been a long road, but the road is officially here. He gets the win, first career win for him, and his team leapfrogs, and they are now first place in the Central Division.